Hi, everyone. It's Tammy Shambade here, Houston-based attorney and host of Ask Tammy Live, where we discuss the best ways to establish your business, protect your names, and keep your profits. Today's question of the day is, what are the different types of intellectual property for business and brand protection? All right, so you're like, Tammy, we talk about businesses, we talk about brands, but what's the whole scope, right? Let's do a little bit of big picture talking today. And so if you watched the last video, you probably saw that I gave you a sneak peek to something that I've been working on. Well, guess what? I'm doing it again. So I have this online course called Elevate Your Business and Brand, Mastering Legal Strategies for Growth and Success. Because listen, in today's day and age, figuring out how to own what you create requires strategic thinking. People are creating a lot, but everybody isn't owning a lot. If you know what I'm saying. All right, so we need to make sure that we know the strategies. And so that's what this course was created about. And there's one module in the course where we start talking about the different types of intellectual property that's available, right? And I wanted to share that with you. So now I'm sharing with you 2 modules from this because I was like, these are my people. YouTube, my community, you all are my people. And I think that this is another really important question. So as you can tell, I'm excited. You can hear me gabbing away. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to send you to go and look at that. It was recorded a few months ago, but it's still, the information is still spot on. And then we're going to come back and meet here in my office. Okay? All right. Bye. Hey friend, welcome back. In this specific lesson, we're going to now start really talking about brand protection. I find that a lot of the folks who come and reach out to me, sometimes they haven't really thought about the foundation with regards to their business, but they start thinking about their foundation when it's their business, when they start thinking about their brands or the things that they create. General big picture, I want you to recognize that as business owners, we're usually creating or cultivating unique things. There is usually some type of unique fruit of your mind. That might be the unique fruit of deciding this is what my brand name is going to be. There might be a unique book or a unique original work that you create. It might be a way that you do business, but there are usually distinct things that people do in business that can be protected. And that's where this section really comes into play, because I want you to start thinking about what are the different types of things that I create that would be considered intellectual property or IP that I want to take steps towards protecting so that I can increase the value thereof. I'll say that a different way. I want you to start thinking about what you have that can get you more money. I want you to start thinking about what you have that's super valuable and figuring out ways to make sure it's protected so that it can keep making you money. When we're talking about these things called intellectual property, it's really the fruit of your mind or things that you've created. And there are 4 basic categories that this IP falls into. You have copyright, trademark, patent, and trade secrets. Copyright, trademark, patents, and trade secrets. These are the 4 broad categories of intellectual property that the things that you create or cultivate usually fall within. Let's talk about each one really quickly. First one, copyrights. Copyrights are all about protections given to original works. That means when you have uniquely created something like a book or a movie, or you've painted a picture, you have artwork, you've written a song. That is an original work that you've created. It's something that's tangible that you have rights to immediately because you created it. You have exclusive rights to determine how that thing is distributed, whether it's copied, how it's shared, whether it is performed, how it's published. You get to own that. That's your exclusive right as a copyright owner. Okay? And again, that's for your original work. So your songs, your books, your publications, even your blog posts, your social media articles, the photography for the things that you are putting out there. So maybe it's your own personal branding photography. Maybe you're an influencer, right? Those things all have copyrights associated with them. Now, the place where it gets a little bit dicey is, are you the one who owns it or someone else does? And we'll come back to that question. But I want you to just understand what copyrights are. Next, let's talk about trademarks. Trademarks are marks that distinguish you as the source of a good or a service. So I really associate trademark protection with brand protection, in that branding is usually something that is put out there to distinguish you in the marketplace, just like a trademark. You may also come across the term service mark. If you come across that term, know that it's basically the same and they're used interchangeably. The difference is a service mark is usually a mark that is used in association with services provided. So as an attorney, if I have TOS Legal as a mark that I use to distinguish myself, it's a name that when people hear, they think of Tammy, right? If I have that, that's usually a service mark because it's associated with services I provide as an attorney. But for the most part, you'll see people use them interchangeably, so I don't want you to worry. But that's the distinction between a trademark and a service mark. But both of them are all about what distinguishes you, right, in terms of commerce. And it's things that you use to stand out. So your brand name is something that you use to kind of stand out. Your logo is something that you may use. You might have a phrase like "just do it like Nike." You may have a theme song, right, that is unique. Ba 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 da da, I'm loving it, right? Like you can have all these different things that distinguish you in the world. What ends up happening, another sticky point that we're going to dip our toe in but not really go all the way in, is the overlap between trademark and copyright. So what if I have a unique song that was created as something to help me stand out, a unique jingle? There is a copyright associated with it because it's an original work, but there's also a trademark associated with it if I use it to distinguish myself in commerce. And so I have these two rights, bundle of rights that I want to harness and use up of so that I can protect myself on all sides. Right? Someone copying it and distributing it is different from somebody copying it and using it to get an edge out in terms of your commerce and your sales or to cause confusion. Right? That's where the different buckets of rights come in. But that's your copyrights and your trademarks. The third one that I mentioned is patents. So patents are all about unique protections given to the inventor of something or the person who owns an invention, right? And what a patent does is that it excludes others from using or selling that technology, that invention, for a limited time. So if you have the bright idea to create something that nobody else has ever done, you can file a patent to make sure that the exclusive science or technology behind it or invention behind it is limited exclusively to you and that nobody else is able to do that for some time. It's a limited time frame. But it allows you to get that competitive edge and gives you that benefit for being the person who has created something that adds value to the world. So we talked about copyrights, we talked about trademarks, and we talked about patents. The last one is your trade secrets. Your trade secrets is all about information that gives you a competitive edge, right? So if you have a secret sauce in terms of the way that you make a sauce for your burgers that is world famous, that secret is something that you own, that you've created, that is a value that needs to be protected. It may also be a unique customer list or a unique system that you don't want anyone else to know about. Those are trade secrets. Now, the difference between the first three that I spoke about, your copyrights, your trademarks, and your patents, and this last one, your trade secrets, is that copyrights, patents, and trademarks can be registered, whereas trade secrets cannot be. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next section when we talk about protecting your idea. But trade secrets, again, it's all about information that gives you a competitive edge. And it is valuable property. You can sell that information. I've had clients who sell their databases of client lists so that they can sell essentially their business. That's where their business comes from. It's those clients. And it's super valuable. Right? So think about all those various areas where there's fruit of your thought process. There is something that you've cultivated or created that is unique to you. And think about what those things might be and how they might be things that you can monetize. Now, when it comes to intellectual property and protecting what you create, there are some common mistakes that I see. The first one is that people accidentally infringe all the time. And when I say they accidentally infringe all the time, it means that they didn't do their searches before. It means that they're just unfamiliar with the territory, and so then they copy people. It also means that sometimes people are kind of ignorant. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm just saying people don't necessarily know. And so you'll have people who will take pictures from Google, download them from Google, and think that they have a right to it, when that's actually somebody's copyrighted work because it was an original work and you didn't ask them for permission. And they have unique rights to be able to say, you're not allowed to use what I've created. You may have a photographer who has taken pictures for you. The thing is, even though there's a picture of you, technically the copyright belongs to the photographer, unless there's a contract that says otherwise. Right? So I just want you to be thinking about those, but the accidental infringement is a huge mistake that occurs. The second common mistake that I see, in addition to accidentally copying other people, is a failure to protect your brand or a failure to protect these elements yourself. By not policing it, you basically are telling the government this is not important, and then anything can happen, and the value that you've invested into whatever that intellectual property is lost. So here are some ways that you can protect what you've created. The first way is you have to identify it. You have to take an audit of your business, an audit of your brand, and say, what are the unique things that I have created or cultivated? Have I uniquely created or cultivated a system, a process, a customer list? Have I uniquely created or cultivated a brand name, a logo, a design? Have I had one uniquely cultivated or created for me? Did I have anyone create a new songs for me? Did I have anyone take pictures for me? What are the things that have been created or cultivated that are special to your business and your brand? Identifying it is the first step. The second thing is registering them for the ones that are registerable. So your trademarks, your copyrights, your patents, have you taken the steps to get the legal protections on your side? Here's the thing, when you don't do that, the law says, hey, they weren't proactive about this. We're not going to allow them to bring lawsuits if there's an issue. If somebody were to copy your trademark or copy a copyright of yours, you would not be able to bring a suit in front of the courts unless and until you registered that work. Right? So that puts a huge time frame. That puts you behind. And then here's the thing. If you catch somebody copying you after you've already gone through this registration process, you're entitled to more rights because you've put the world on notice. It's their fault if they don't know it. But if you never take those steps to register your trademarks or register your copyrights or file for patents and get those approved, you aren't going to have any recourse to stop people from doing things to your business and your brand. The third thing that you can do to protect it is policing it. What do I mean by policing it? I mean, you monitor the use of the things that you create, whether it's the customer list or the trademark or your original works. Pay attention to how people use your stuff and regulate it. Tell them the parameters proactively. If you are doing an e-course, let them know you cannot use or duplicate this material without permission from me. You know, if people are saying, can I do this? Can I do this? Pause and say, I don't really know, because you want to make sure that it's something that you can manage and that you are able to police and maintain. Okay. And that moves us to the fourth thing, which is maintaining all of these things. A lot of these different intellectual property that I spoke about require ongoing maintenance. And that might mean an additional filing with an additional filing fee. That might mean collecting more proof that you're using something. Or proof that something is an actual invention, and just various things that you do to, again, maintain what you've already invested in. Those are 4 ways that you can protect what you've created in order to really make sure that your business and brand are moving in the right direction. Okay? All right, so that's all I have for this. So what I want you to do after hearing this is I want you to start thinking about what types of things you and your business have cultivated or created. And I want you to create a running list of those items so that you know exactly what you need to protect. Right? Then we'll know, oh, this person needs a trademark. This person needs a copyright. Like, I want you to go back and look and decide what you have and create a list. Okay? That's all for this section. I'll see you in the next one. All right, welcome back. Come on, have a seat. How was it? Did you enjoy that module? I hope you did. I hope that you found it really helpful. We walked through 4 different types of intellectual property, like categories that you should be aware of. I wanted to bring that to your attention. But now that you've kind of gotten that behind the scenes look, you might be saying, okay, I have some work that I need to do, and I want to be strategic about it. What do I do next? Well, I got you. 3 options. Number 1, you could meet with me, right? We have a legal strategy session, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and that's going to be the time where you might be able to get the most customized and most personalized information that is really dedicated to where you are in your business. Okay. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is you just got a sneak peek at behind the scenes for the course. You might say, you know what, I need to see the whole thing because that was so helpful and I need to wrap my mind around this legal world. I want to think like a lawyer a little bit. Then I would advise you to kind of go down the route of getting the course and spending some time watching those different modules so that you understand the landscape that you're entering into or that you're in already as a business owner. 3, the third option is you could get our checklist, right? So maybe you're not in a place to schedule a consultation. Maybe you're not in a place to get the course, but you are in a place where you still want help. Get our free checklist. It's called the Level Up Your Business and Brand Checklist, and it takes you through the steps that I walk my clients through when I want to make sure that their businesses and their brands are protected. And hint, I believe that there is a difference between a business and a brand. But that's a question for another day or for another module. We'll see. You let me know if you want to hear that module. But so I want you to get the checklist if that's where you are. And if you get the checklist, you'll also be added to our email list and you'll get to have the inside scoop as to what we have going on. So for example, I've been doing a couple of lives more frequently. If you want to be part of one of those lives, if you want to potentially ask a question live, you want to be brought up and on YouTube with me, right? That was going to be the place where those types of opportunities come up. If you want to be in a private training in Zoom with me, that's going to be where those opportunities are brought up. If you want to hear about special things we have going on in the firm, that's going to be where that is brought up. So you're definitely going to want to join the e-list. And so those are your 3 options: legal strategy session, course, or email list. That is all I have for you today. I really hope you found that video useful, that module. It took some time to kind of put all those pieces together, but I really wanted to break that down for you. So let me know below if you have any comments or questions. And that's all. If you want to follow us on social, the handle is TOS Legal. If you want to visit the website, it's www.toslegal.com. And I would be glad to see you or hear from you on one of those platforms. All right, till next time, have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Bye.